Good morning. I'm Sister Pam Beal, and Zoe Mazurkowitz is here with me today to share with you an exciting mission trip she recently experienced. Zoe is a third-year student at Michigan Tech University in Houghton, Michigan, studying computer science and mathematics. She was part of the spring break mission trip that travels to Father Carr's place to be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for a week of service, with one of the side trips being a trip to Holy Family Convent, which is my community's mother house. This is Zoe's third year being a part of this mission trip, which has been going on for over 20 years. Father Carr's place to be is called a Life Enrichment Center, which includes 4 buildings on a 10-acre campus that serve as a community center, free medical clinic, community food bank, retreat center, dining room for daily meals, and a chapel and housing for the homeless. So as you can imagine, there is plenty to do to keep all of these services available for those in need. So before we get into the details about your mission trip, Zoe, can you just tell us a little bit of the history of this spring break mission trip and how Father Carr's place to be came to be the place that you would serve?
Of course. So I actually had to ask Father Ben about this, like our priest,
Mm-hmm.
and he was at the chrism mass or some
Yep, you're right.
mass, yeah, in Marquette yesterday, and so Father Larry was there, and he was the original priest, and so apparently Father Carr just covered a wedding, I believe, for Father Larry, and that's how they met each other, and then it kind of started in like 2001, 2002. And yeah, they've just been going every year since. So it's really good that
Oh,
we have this opportunity now.
well, that's a great connection and a great beginning.
Mhm.
So when you were there during that week, tell our audience some of the things you did to help be of service.
So our main project there, so every week or every year they have like a kind of bigger project for us to do, since they know we'll be there for a week. In a lot of groups, they only go for like a week or like a day. So they have to like have smaller projects. So since we're here and we're like, they know that we'll help, and like we love helping, and like just yeah. So they give us like bigger projects to do. Like we replaced the ceiling tiles last year in the community center, and then this year we installed a walk-in freezer, another one, since like are having more food donated to them that is perishable, so they need that, which is great to have. But we also spend time with the community, so we go to mass daily. We say morning prayer and do some of the breviary and Christian prayer stuff. But then we also take time to visit some other places like Holy Hill, and we visited the National Shrine of Our Lady of
Great.
Good Help in Champion. There you go. Yeah. So we not only serve by like helping build things and replacing things and repairing things, but we also serve the community there, and go visit things to help us grow in our personal faith as well.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
Hmm.
During your time away, was there an experience that you had when you were at Father Carr's that maybe helped you to look at those in need differently? You know, something that maybe changed an understanding or an attitude you had about the poor and those who have no place to call home.
Yeah, so I kind of had like two experiences, so I'll kind of like briefly cover
Yeah,
both of them.
good, good.
But there's this I would wake up early to go on runs, and so there was this woman who I'd like run into like every morning, till and she just the first day actually scared her, and I felt really bad scaring her, so I was like, I'm so sorry. But I like crossed paths with her multiple times, and like even though she had like close to nothing, she still was like very kind to me, and we had conversations in passing, and like when I would be stretching, she would be like just talking to me and chatting, and it was such like a good like, I don't know, good like thing
Connection,
to have
a
in
good
the
connection.
morning. Yeah, and then another experience I had was on Friday. We helped with the food pantry that they have there. And there was this woman who was sitting around, and or we were tasked, sorry, let me back up. We were tasked with just talking with the people there, and there were a lot of people there. There were like families, some people alone, and there was this woman sitting alone. So I went over to sit with her, and like usually I'm not the best at just, going out and talking to people, but I was like, you know what, this is what God's calling me to do. I'm going to do my best, and if we
Great.
mess up, that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I was just talking with her, and she was having a lot of like conflicts with her family and finance issues as well, like being able to pay for things. And it was just difficult in that aspect.
Mhm.
And so just being able to like be with her and kind of like, we cover this a lot at St. Al's, but like Jesus meets us where we're at. So I just wanted to meet her where she was at. I listened to her, and it was just a very good experience, because at the end she was like, thank you for listening to me. And I was like, and she was like, I don't have a lot of people to talk to. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, you're welcome. I'll be praying for you and things like that. And it was a really good, like, even though it wasn't like the most positive
Mhm.
thing, it was like,
Mhm.
okay, like we're just gonna like meet her where she's at, and just love her like Jesus loves all of us. And so yeah.
Yeah, that's the point, Zoe. That's what
Hmm.
we're there for. So I'm sure those two experiences are things that you will remember. Is there anything else that, touched your heart? Any life lessons you learned while you were there?
Um, I'm not exactly sure about that, about like life lessons, but I don't know. I just had a really good time with my friends, and like
Good.
learning that, like, I don't know, like it was only a week out of our like semester, and so like being able to take the time to be able to give to these people who don't have as much as we have. Like, we go to a school that has computer labs and is expanding every day, and so it was just really good to just go and be able to serve them and serve whoever came in through the doors of Father Carr's place, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and a real openness, that it just sounds
Hmm.
very open to anything that happened and anyone that came into your path those days, which is
Yeah.
what,
Well, that's all that you could ask for, really, like
that's
just being like, okay, Jesus, give me, or God, give me the grace to accept anyone who comes into, like, that I cross paths with this day. And it's been really helpful, like like coming back to campus and just kind of like continuing that, like, okay, God,
yes.
this day, please help me to like be gracious to those who I meet, and things like that, and pray for everyone on this campus and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Zoe, that's a life lesson. That's great.
yeah, yeah, I know, as I
Thank
was
you.
talking, yeah.
Thank you. I know that one of your stops on the way was to tour the mother house of my community of Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity. So can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Any insights you gained into religious life during that tour?
Yeah, so as sister said, I had been there would be my third year. So I was more of like the student leader photographer, making
Ah,
sure
okay.
everyone knew like where to go, and making sure no one got lost either. I really made it like a priority while I was there to talk with the sisters, because usually we're just so occupied with, okay, we're gonna
Sure.
go to this room, then we're gonna go to this room, then we're gonna go up the stairs, which is really cool, and like we're gonna go see the Green Bay Packer room, and like this, and
Yes.
and so I like really like made it a priority to kind of like, okay, like I know these things now,
Oh, yeah.
but I also want to, like, I want to be in the present moment, but I also want to like talk with sister, oh, I'm forget Julianne, I believe, and
Mhm.
some of the other sisters that I've seen my previous years here and things like that. So I just like, even though I like remember, so I like remember a lot about like the history of
Sure.
the convent and the mother house, but it was more about like developing those relationships with other people, and it was really fun. It genuinely was really
Oh,
fun. I got to learn about a lot of different things, like about how long it typically takes for like a sister to become like, I don't want to say this, but like a full sister.
sure.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
like the
good.
years and the
Professor.
training. Yeah, so
Oh, that's
I would say it definitely helped me kind of like in my, like, as I'm discerning or like religious life or life with, or having a family, it helped with that process a little bit of like, okay, like this is an option for me and things like that. And I don't know, I just love it there. So maybe it is like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's
But yeah.
great, Zoe. What an insightful thing to say that you already knew the building and where things were and what they were, but
Mhm,
to focus in on the sisters that you met along the way. So thank you.
mhm,
That's a great insight. This year,
mhm.
my community of Franciscan Sisters decided to do monthly interviews like this one with people we feel are rebuilding Christ Church today. So how would you say that your mission trip, the places you visited along the way, helped you to do that, to rebuild Christ Church today?
So, I'm gonna kind of go into like a little backstory before I answer that. But my
Okay.
first year, there wasn't really like any student leader to answer questions or anything like that. Since before that, there was like the COVID year, so we didn't like do it that year. So a lot of people who had done it previously kind of graduated or weren't doing it, and so there were only like 5 to 10 students on the trip. And my second year, there was like it like doubled. There was like 20 to 25 or 15 to 20, and then this year we were able to get about 30 students. Some
Oh,
had to leave early,
wow.
some came like as like in the middle. So it was like amazing to see how much it's grown in such a little bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess like what I'm trying to get at is that it's really important to get um like at a younger age, so like before you graduate college or before you graduate high school, just to be able to have that experience of helping people. I know when I was in high school, I did Appalachian Service Project, which is like where you go to the Appalachian region and you help rebuild homes. So like just having that experience wanted to make me do more. Like I wanted to, like the first year I was like, oh, I really want to go on this mission trip. Like I didn't have any other plans for spring break. I really want to help people. I really want to serve people. I really want to do XYZ, whatever they were having. And so yeah, just helping not like I think sorry, and another thing, I just think like when you think of like rebuilding Christ Church, some people think of like getting people into like a church. But
Mm-hmm.
another important thing is also like having that other aspect of outreach of like
Mm-hmm.
being a witness to Christ's love, because not
Absolutely.
everyone has that witness. Like they just aren't surrounded by all the people that like I may be surrounded by or like our friends may be surrounded by. So just being able to like be a witness to God's love and to share that love with other people and things like that. So
So
yeah.
excellent. Thank you. That was a great
Yeah.
insight into the meaning of that. And I'm glad
Hmm.
you shared that with us. One last thing. Would you have any advice for young people who may be looking to do a mission trip as a way of being of service and helping others, and maybe they're just a little hesitant? Any one-liner advice that you would give them?
I would say check with your like kind of the church, like your church, your local church. Sorry.
Yeah.
Check with your local church, because most of the time they have things like going on, like things like that, whether it's just
Mhm.
not even like being like going like driving 5 hours or 10 hours to like a different place. Like there's need in your community.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people like think of like, oh, we need to go to the really rural areas where there isn't much, but like there's need everywhere. Like you can literally walk out your door and go to a like
Pantry or
like a
something.
retirement home or like a homeless shelter and go help and like just not even like if it is like a retirement home, just being there and offering your help and service to others. Um and yeah.
Great
Just
answer.
going out.
Yeah, that's really good. Good advice. Thank you. Thank you,
Mhm.
Zoe, for taking the time to share not only your mission trip experience with us, but also your energy, your enthusiasm for what this mission trip has meant to you and how
Yeah.
important it is, to have these kinds of life experiences throughout our life. I'm sure our listener enjoyed your firsthand stories, and I know it also gave them a chance to see that mission trips are more than just being of service and doing things, that mission
Mhm.
trips are really getting to know the heart of the people you serve and learning to see beyond the many things they don't have, as well as finding the richness in their lives as human beings and the many things beyond the material that they really have to share with us. So
Mhm.
you and your team, no doubt, were surely the face and the hands of Jesus to the people at Father Carr's place to be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So thank you again, Zoe,
Yeah,
and
you're
God
welcome.
bless you abundantly as you continue to rebuild Christ's church today. And thanks to all of you who joined us today and listened to this interview.